Welcome to Movie Madness. I'm the host, Jacob Hayworth. We're going to start off the show with a movie review by Atia Thornton.
Atia Thornton here to give you my mixed review all about The Vow, directed by the Golden Globe and Emmy award-winning director Michael Soucy, starring Rachel McAdams from The Notebook and Channing Tatum from Dear John. The Vow takes place in Chicago, Illinois, after the newly married couple Paige and Leo Collins face upcoming challenges after a car accident that left Paige, played by McAdams, with severe brain trauma. Leo, played by Channing Tatum, remains at his wife's bedside until she awakens from her coma to discover she now has severe memory loss.
You know who I am, right?
Yeah?
Okay, good.
You're my doctor.
As Paige doesn't remember much of her life with Leo, he remains content on making his wife fall back in love with him. Old family history and secrets create a new challenge for their marriage to remain whole. I personally enjoyed this movie as it painted a clear picture of what loving someone means. However, it wasn't my favorite. In my opinion, The Vow kind of made Leo to be the bad husband after the accident, when in actuality, he just wanted his wife's love back. I really didn't like how aggressive Paige was toward Leo after the accident. Obviously, he just wanted to help her, so I felt she didn't have to be so rude, inconsiderate, or mean toward her husband. The Vow also didn't have as much passion as I thought it would as The Notebook. I guess it's because McAdams played a totally different character. Anywho, if you're looking for a movie that is a sobby chick flick, this definitely meets the criteria. Love is a beautiful thing, and it's all depicted in The Vow. With Movie Madness, I'm Atia Thornton.
Thanks for the review, Atia. Now, I personally liked The Vow. I thought that Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling, though, made a better Nicholas Sparks couple than Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams. But, that's my only critique. But we're going to take a short break, and when we get back, we'll talk about the movie releases for the week. This is Movie Madness. I'm your host, Jacob Hayworth. Before we went to break, we watched a movie review by Atia Thornton about the film The Vow. Now, we're going to talk about what's coming to theaters this week. First up, Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. After many years of keeping our malls safe, Paul Blart, played by Kevin James, has earned a well-deserved vacation. He heads to Vegas with his teenage daughter, Maya, played by Rainey Rodriguez, before she heads off to college. But safety never takes a holiday, and when duty calls, Blart answers. Now, actually, the first one, it was, it's not an Oscar winner, but I enjoyed it. It's one of those just odd family comedies that you'll enjoy. But next up is Unfriended. While video chatting one night, 6 high school friends receive a Skype message from a classmate who killed herself exactly 1 year ago. At first, they think it's a prank, but when the girl starts revealing the friends' darkest secrets, they realize they are dealing with something out of this world, something that wants them dead. It stars Sheila Hennick as Blair and Heather Sossaman as Laura. Fun fact, the filmmakers created a mock Skype interface for the film to avoid technical issues, such as lag. It's handheld footage. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Too many, horror movies are doing that, but it might be a good horror film. Might want to check it out. But that's all for the theater releases for this week. Now let's watch another movie review by Chance Parsons.
That's right, I'm back from the dead, or what I like to call graduation. It seems like I can never really get too far from KNWT. It's not like I dedicated 4 whole, sleepless, stressful, haunting years with this station. Not that graduation doesn't always lead to golden roads of director contracts and red carpet photo shoots. Darn it. Instead, my post-grad life led to selling insurance as an assistant. But to my luck, my commute to work has me walking past a local movie theater every single day. So, naturally, with me being the film buff that I am, I stop and catch a flick about 2 to 3 times a month. You might be asking, what's it? Or even, what the heck is that movie? Well, I believe that it might be a surprise cult hit. The plot is simple but effective, centering around a female lead played by Maika Monroe, who becomes a victim of a curse that is passed through sex. He said sex. Once the curse has been passed to the next person, it starts to follow them. It can be embodied as a stranger in a crowd or even as one's family member. It constantly walks towards you and never stops until it has killed you. Pretty awesome, right? That might sound lame to you desensitized teenage moviegoers of this generation, but It Follows manages to keep the tension high and possible interferences low. I must note there's also a love story subplot that when mixed in with the final story, I couldn't decipher if it was creepy or actually super roaming. Oh, they're in love! Keeping the plot simple in this film had its ups and downs. However, simplicity won me over, making the STD satire relatable and actually thought-provoking. The film is an obvious ode to classic 80s horror films. I caught on right away when the film throws blatant 80s synths and shots in your nostalgic little face. Yeah, those are 80s synths, just in case you didn't know. It might as well be titled The Indie Film That Could, because the movie was made for a mere $2 million. That's pocket change in the movie industry and has gone on to gross over $11 million in its opening week. The cinematography completely won me over, with difficult but simple camera movements that grab your attention without using gore to keep you hooked. I don't want to ruin the story too much, but I hope that you can catch this one before it leaves theaters and possibly its effect. This has been KNWT alum Chance Parsons going above and beyond like always. Till next time that I have to show these kids how to make a pack, stay extra chill and crack open a cold juice box for me.
Thanks, Chance. Now, personally, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I think it has a weird, dumb plot that doesn't make any sense, and it's just a dumb horror movie. What is going on with these films? You know what, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll give you my movie recommendation for the week. You're watching Movie Madness right here on KNWT Channel 8. Welcome back to Movie Madness. I'm your host, Jacob Hayworth. Now it's time for my movie recommendation for the week, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It stars Jason Segel, who played Marshall in How I Met Your Mother, Mila Kunis, who played that chick in That 70s Show, and then Kristen Bell, who played, I don't know. Anyway, so it's a great film. Jason Segel is going through a breakup, and he goes to Hawaii for a vacation. Turns out he's a single man at Hawaii, which is the honeymoon central. And anyway, he is battling with his ex, and then he finds a new girl, and it's just, if you're going through a breakup, it's a great film. Seriously, you should check it out. Go watch it right now. Actually, wait for the show to be over. But now we're going to watch a short film that I made. Let's take a look. And that was my film, I'd Rather It Be Me. Hopefully you thought I was an okay actor. The whole motivation behind the film was I try to make a film like how a song is. You know, it can have different meanings to different people. You know, the question was, were all those flash forwards into the future, or were they flashbacks before the accident? I can't really tell you what the exact answer is, though. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm your host, Jacob Hayworth. Thank you for joining us here on Movie Madness. Please make sure you go to Facebook, like our page, and join us here next week for our very last episode on KNWT Channel 8.